At that time, he never sat me behind the caja, just to let you know. I was playing segundo for him. Okay? When he would sit behind the caja, you know, because I'm a dancer, you know, he said, Riquito, make up your mind. You want the ocho here or you want to play? Tu montado, no toque. And he say, get over here. Like that, and make me stand behind him. That was my caja school from him. But he knew that I had the balls to work the drum too. Everybody wanted to play and get paid. Nobody wanted to work. He'll tell you that Tinante thing is no joke. When you're really doing it, I stayed with Pepe. Working. Pepe was the one showing me how to make the autos, how to carve the drum, how to make the alpha bow, how to cut the tirantes fat so when you pull them, they thin down. If you have this type of skin, what do you do? This type of skin, what do you do? The difference between using a deer skin, the difference between using baka, the difference between that. Pepe showed me that. Puntilla didn't show me that. He said, Pepe job. You, Pepe. Segundero, segundero. Puntilla made me stand behind to watch the caja. I don't know how many. At that time, then, he would let me play caja in the avericula tambors, but fundamental never. Then one day, one big tambor, 200, 300 people, he said, Rinquito, now, Kiki ass, you got it. I said, you sure? He said, Kiki ass? Or I Kiki you ass. And I sat down, and I played like I was born again. Because I'm not going to get my ass kicked by some little man this big in front of all these people. And I played my ass off. And I was a cajero ever since.
How often were you playing at that time?
3, 4.
This is we're talking about the 80s.
Yes,
right?
3, 4 times a week, and then flying down here and playing the whole weekend and flying home, and then getting off the plane and playing the tambor before we go home.
So can we talk about the first time you came to Miami? And what you saw here, what your experience was in Miami?
The first time I came to Miami, I just wanted to get in the bathtub warm water by the beach, and I was glad to be down here in the sun when it was 30 below in December. When I first went to the first Bembe, I was like, wow. You know, because I'm looking at, yeah. Now, I wasn't new to women. I mean, I'm a man now, but I was like, it was just like crazy. You know, and you got to remember what was going on in the 80s too, here. You know, it was all, everybody was selling drugs. Everybody was Tony Montana. There was money in the street like you wouldn't believe. So how are they going to laundry the money? Do the santo. Make your godmother's oath. Make your grandfather. Make your aunt. Make your so-and-so. So we was playing down here all the time in Alapata. 2 and 3 Bembes in the same block. You could finish one early, go to the next one, a Toque Palo later on that night. This is all in the same block. Okay? Then, it was one time we came down here to play, and Puntilla said, we's getting ready to go. He said, Brinquito, why you back? I said, well, you said we was getting ready to go home. He said, see, not you. Not me. Not you. You stay here and help it Negro people. You're going to teach Negro people to play, so they play with Negro. You help Negro. I'm in the mob. I'm a soldier. Padrino says stay. I'm going to stay. I called my father. I said, Dad, tell Mom something, okay? Just tell her anything, because she's not going to understand. He said, no. He said, you all right? I said, yeah, I'm all right. My father didn't mind, because he said, this manhood shit. I stayed. And Negro picked me up with a little bag of clothes that I had. He took me over here to the southwest, over here, Little Havana. There's Santero that just made his transition, guy named Abuelo, the old Lobatala that had a house with a little house in the back, like, you know. And I stayed in a little house in the back. And Angelito Fuerte, a guy named Rumbero that recently died, he drank himself to death. And a couple guys would come over every day so I could show them the Igbo dude and the auto cantar. They played Negro's tambor. And Negro made me the secretary there, so when people would call me contracted tambors, I had to answer the phone, deal with Negro stuff, and put up with Negro shit. Soon after that, I had went back home. Puntilla needed me. Some of the people that thought was going to be with him, they left. Like I said, cats have been in and out. You know, he needed me. Puntilla, llama mi brazo. Call my arm. I went. Came back down here. Big tambor. The singers at that time were Jorge Turante, this guy named Tomasito we called Meatball, Albondiga, and this Oriate, who was not gay, a man, well, he's straight. His name was Himagwa. He's really famed as an Oriate. He sang real crazy though. And we came big time board. I mean, hundreds of people. You know, everybody's in the gold and the polyester because it's still coke dealers, you know. And so Puntilla said, "This time, boy, you don't say nothing till I tell you to sing." By this time, I'm singing a little bit. At the time when we was in New York, if Emilio or somebody got tired, Puntilla would let me sing a little bit. So he told me, "Don't say nothing to these people. Don't say nothing. Just do what I tell you to do." So it's okay. So I was taking a break from playing circle. No, Puntilla said, "Okay, you sing it for Babalua now. You sing it." So I sang. I sang the whole tratado. Everything was nice. It's auto cantar, not bringing Babalua down. So back to the thing. So now we taking a break. This guy walks up to me, and and at this time my Spanish was still so I didn't know what the hell he was really saying. And then I looked at Padrino. He said, "Go ahead." You know, I said, "I'm not Cuban. You know, habla español." This guy cussed me out. I gotta be lying. Only a Cuban can play like this. There's no way you can be an American and play like you play and sing like you sing. There's no way. I'm just not accepting that. And that didn't bother me, but you know, someone's translating for me. And then he said, "No, you can't lie to me like that. You know, thank you. I'm an Abaqua and I'm a child of Ogun. Excuse me. And you have to respect me." And I said, "Excuse me?" And Puntilla gave me the nod and said, he tapped one of his boys. He said, "Watch this." Like they picked the wrong one. You know, he said, "Watch this." And he said, "Enquito, dale, go ahead." And I said, "Oh, you a child of Ogun, huh? I gotta respect you." I said, "Let me tell you something. This is Ogun for real. Now what you gonna do?" Right? He pissed on himself right in front of 200 people, trying to punk me, threaten me with the gun stuff. My father told me, if you pull a gun, you blow a gun. You don't, gun is not for show and tell. And if you ever meet somebody like that, pork out on them and whip their ass with it. And that's what I did. And from that day on, I never had a problem out of any of these Wapo guys or anybody else from Miami to Venezuela to Puerto Rico to anybody, because everybody knew about that. This religion, the brujeria, is in the tongue, honey. That was on the telephone wire 10 minutes after I did it. When I made Ocha, the people back here knew I made Ocha before I walked out the room. That's the way that works. So that was my making of my bones, sort of on the other side of this stuff. You know, the stuff that nobody wants to talk about or hear about. That was the making of my bones.
Can you?
know, I never carried a gun to a tomboy since then. After that, again, I had no need.
Did you know that need was going to arrive then at that time?
Excuse me?
Did you sense that this was going to happen at some point?
No.
Is that why you had a gun on you?
No, I had a gun on me because Miami was hot.
Right.
And drug people dealing drugs, 17th Avenue, they were shooting all the time. You didn't know. Me and Puntilla were coming down here doing Rumbas. There was a club here off of Biscayne called Narcisios, which was really a coke laundering joint, but some Cubans owned it, and they was doing cabaret shows and like the Tropicana stuff. Yeah, and Puntilla and the folklore group, you know, the new generation, whoever generation, we was coming down here to perform, and they was paying us. So whenever we came to Miami, I put my gun in